Give us 60 minutes and we'll give you Nelson Radio every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on KTLK AM 1150. With 29 years in the mortgage business and an array of top-level guests visiting the show, Nelson is in a unique position to bring you cutting-edge information on real estate, business, finance, and law. If you have any questions for Nelson or any of his guests, give him a call at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or check him out online at nelsonradio.com.
Nelson Radio.
Check this out. Nelson Radio is back. We're excited to be broadcasting remote from the 37 Monarch Beach property of this beautiful, beautiful estate that sits right on the bluff over Monarch Bay. Phil Immel has brought this listing to market, $8.5 million, and it's worth every penny. You can look in that backyard down the coast to the Ritz-Carlton. Up north, you can see Palos Verdes staring across the ocean at Catalina Island. I mean, would you ever get tired of that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. We're moving into Coach's Corner. This is all about bringing your best. That's our show's theme. Nelson Radio is delighted to be with our next guest, and this is from Extreme Focus. Dave Austin, a mental coach, and an entire career about bringing the best out of people in performance, primarily in sports, working with some of the elite athletes in the world, but also in business, in life.
You know, the principles work in every aspect of life, and it's not that complicated. That's the neat thing. It's just changing your perspective on things. You know, sitting out here in this location changes my perspective just being here.
Right.
You know, you just go, wow, look how beautiful this is. And just from that energy, I'm lifted up. And basically a lot of what I do is I just lift up athletes as they're going to go perform at their highest. They're on the pressure. So I bring them to a place like this in their mind.
Well, and let me ask about that, because there's got to be a common denominator, a place where you start them from that's a core place. Tell me about what that would be.
Well, you know, when you're going to go out and you're going to perform, there's so many distractions. You know, we have distractions, whether it's business or sports, but you have all this hitting you. And so what I want them to do is absolutely nail down and focus on what they love to do. Keep it very simple. And then we do a visualization to see and experience. And I've had ball players say, I'm just going out, I'm walking into my video, the video they just created. So now they're focused on the simple things of what they're going to do rather than what might take place. And you can imagine a pitcher who, you know, years ago I was working with the Dodgers and Eric Gagne was just on a roll.
Right.
I mean, it was so cool when that door opened. He was like a gunslinger coming in. And, you know, he was just so focused on the job at hand. And there'd be guys on second and third and, you know, everybody going, oh my gosh. And he's like, I love this.
Yeah,
I love this. You know, this is where I love to be. So he embraced it because he saw himself in that ahead of time and saw himself bringing his best through it. And I think if you take that approach into anything you do, visualization is very interesting because, you know, to bring it into physical form, you got to see it, you got to feel it, you got to sense it, and now your subconscious believes it can happen, and that's half the battle.
You know, something that's interesting, you and I both come from the ranks of professional tennis. I exercised visualization as a player before I went out onto the court, and I would rehearse what I thought would unfold on the court and visualize that. You said as a player, professional player, you didn't do that. You didn't know about it at that time when you were out in the professional ranks, yet your ranking was higher than mine.
Well, as we talked about this, I was a little ahead of you, and there weren't as many players. I would have been behind you. I actually look at what you did. I think you surpassed me. I wish I would have known the art of visualization. I started working. I took one player that was 320 in the world, and he went to top 50 in the world within 6 months. His income changed from about $30,000 a year to millions.
This is Vince Spadea.
Yeah, Vince Spadea.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I looked at that, and I even myself said, I didn't do this. I didn't know it then. So when I was 50, I decided, by that time I'd had a lot of experience. I've done the U.S. Olympic team. I've done, you know, I said, I want to see if I can be number one now. And I went out with that goal, and I visualized, because before I wasn't comfortable winning because I hadn't seen myself winning a championship. Well, at the end of the year, I became number one.
In the 40s, come on.
Yeah, I was 10 years ahead of it. Yeah.
Number one in the country in the 40s when you were age 50. And that goes back to my old adage, age and treachery beats up on youth and enthusiasm every time. Let me ask you how that crosses over into business, because Should we, as performers in our business performance, should we be visualizing?
Oh, absolutely. It's a game changer. We do this with businesses. I now go into corporations and we do what we call game readies, so that when you go out, let's say you're going to go out and sell, you've got to see yourself and tap into the important things: joy, appreciation, gratitude. There's so much strength in that, instead of, oh, I got to make this sell, I got to do this.
Right.
Now think about and see the experience of how awesome it is. And even me, earlier standing out here looking out across the bay, I start visualizing of what it'd be like if I bought this house. I did that with our house. Kathy, my wife, and I think it was Shane. We had 4 boys at the time. We visualized this estate, and we saw ourselves living in that house. We didn't know how we'd do it. 6 months later, we bought that house.
And it came together.
Yeah.
The power of visualization. I'm with Dave Austin. This is Nelson Radio. And Dave leading the charge for extreme focus right here in Coach's Corner. Give us a shout. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. I want to ask you on a different angle. As you're coaching athletes and coaching performance, you see the visual that I'll paint here, which I don't think is very flattering, but the game of football, whether that's Pop Warner or college or professional, where that coach is grabbing a face mask and launching on somebody and getting in their kitchen. Is there a place for that in sports?
Wow, that's a great question, and I'm sure anybody listening to this, here's the answer for me, because I've done it at every level. I have 4 boys, so I've coached at Pop Warner. I've coached at high school. I've coached at D1 football. I've coached at NFL. I've done it all. I've seen it all. And the interesting thing is no matter where you go, it's amazing how much coaches don't understand the power of positive energy. They see they've been brought up, oh, I got to get in your face. Now, there is a time where sometimes you have to wake someone up. But then you better start feeding, because what you give them that you want them to buy into, you want it to grow. So I feed a lot of positive. That will get you through a lot of negative. It's not about, it's like you just redirect. If they made a mistake, you go, good, now let's redirect, rather than, you idiot. And I see coaches do this all the time, and I just go, man, they want this player to play at their best, but now they're doing the exact opposite, because now this player, all he can think about is a mistake. That's all that's on his mind. We need to be focused on our gifts and our strength, and let that rise us, and that will take us through our weaknesses.
That's really affirming. And I coach the men's tennis team back at my alma mater at UC Irvine, and I tell the players that they're going to make mistakes. They're going to face all the emotions in that field of battle that you go through, whether that's anger or fear or doubt. But it's about steering those emotions. That's what I'm hearing, is steering those emotions back to the positive.
I just had this conversation 2 hours ago with a pitcher with the Cincinnati Reds, and that's exactly what we talked about. He gets caught up in that, it wasn't a perfect performance. Even if it looked good and he got guys out, he says, yeah, but I got away with things. I said, great. Say hallelujah to that. And let's not keep getting worried about what you didn't do perfectly.
Yeah.
It's more about the energy than the absolutely every detail of it. When you get into the proper energy of winning, and that is a positive momentum, it takes care of all the weaknesses. It takes care of all the little things you might do wrong. And here he's been caught up in, yeah, I did all right, but all he could see is what he did wrong.
Yeah. Dave, I want to extend the invitation. You got to come back to Coach's Corner, and I'm looking for that coaching as I perform in the business world. Certainly as a broadcaster, good golly, I need coaching, don't I? Phil's wagging his head up and down. Yeah, you need to improve behind the mic in a mighty way. We're moving towards the stump. Stump the experts with the guru, Phil Immel, as we broadcast from 37 Monarch Beach on the bluff above the Pacific Ocean, an unbelievable property. And we're talking about bringing your best. Call us direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. We'll be right back with the stump.
Nelson is a licensed lender under the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 331060.
This is Nelson from Nelson Radio, and it's important that we talk about a very serious issue. We had bad lending practices that led to the mortgage meltdown, but now we've got the challenge of deplorable customer service coming out of the meltdown. Bottom line, getting a new loan can be like pulling teeth without Novocaine. I've got the solution. Academy Mortgage and my team are injecting into the industry real performance and real accountability. Here are the facts. Appraisals in less than a week. Rate guarantees that can improve if the market goes down. purchase transactions with our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantees and refinance transactions in as little as 30 days. Who would have thunk? Guaranteed rates and guaranteed performance from your mortgage lender. Call me, Nelson, an accountable loan expert for nearly 3 decades, direct at 888-888-2136. That's Nelson at 888-888-2136, 888-888-2136, or at strongcreditrewards.com.